I'm a security guard at a failing mall, and I just found something awful in the basement. I just got a complaint that some guy is washing his groin in the men's room sink. Can one of you guys go deal with this? I had to kick the mad shitter out of the mall this morning again. I groaned, then picked my radio up to answer. All right, Connor, but did the mad shitter try to kiss you again this time? I said, grinning into my radio like he could see me. Screw you. She had a handful of shit ready to go. I really don't know why she hates the Gap store so much. We seriously need guys posted at the front doors of this place at all times. All right, buddy, I'm almost at the bathroom. I'll get back to you. I walked into the men's bathroom, and sure enough, there was an older, homeless-looking man with his junk in the sink. Hey man, you gotta stop what you're doing. I can't have you washing your groin off in the sink here. My groin? The man replied, perplexed, not stopping what he was doing for even a second. Oh, you must mean my wand, he replied. I groaned. Whatever you say, pal, just put it back in your pants, for the love of God. No can do. I'm affected by evil ailments. I must cleanse the dark juices off before it is too late. I had had just about enough of this and walked up behind the man to detain him, but he spun around with the quickness of a gazelle, startling me. I think not, he exclaimed, jumping away from me. I am a warlock of the highest caliber. I have been protecting this realm since before you were but a twinkle in your father's eye. Look, this doesn't have to be difficult. I just need you to go and we can put this all behind us. Did you hear that? They are back. The man screamed and started to windmill his private part around in a circle and began to piss. I ran out of the bathroom and grabbed my radio to fill my coworkers in on the situation and get some backup. There was no way in hell I was about to wrestle with a half-naked pissing lunatic in a failing mall's bathroom alone. A few minutes later, I finally saw Connor and my other coworker, Jeff, strolling down the hallway to the washrooms. Took your sweet time, guys. Relax. I wasn't about to face off with your boyfriend on an empty stomach, Jeff said, sucking donut frosting off of his fingers. Connor sighed. Okay, guys, we gotta work together here. We go in single file and surround this weirdo. We all agreed and Jeff went in first. Hello, Mr. Wizard. Oh, damn it. Connor and I quickly ran in and noticed the air vent had been ripped off of the wall. This asshole went down to the basement. Jeff yelled. What a pain in the ass. I guess we better go find him. Connor said, rubbing the bridge of his nose with his index finger and thumb like an annoyed dad. We made our way through the employees-only doors and down a small hallway of offices until we reached a locked set of double doors. After trying almost half the keys on the cartoonishly large mall key ring, I heard a click and the knob turned. There was a rickety old set of wooden steps in front of us, leading down to basement. I turned on the little flashlight I keep on my security belt next to my taser and proceeded down the steps. Every board creaked and groaned underneath me and middle of the steps bowed, threatening to break the deeper I descended. I made it to the bottom and began looking around for a light switch when I heard a scream followed by a crash behind me. I spun around to see Jeff had fallen through the stairs, taking most of them with him. Damn! You okay down there? I heard Connor yell from above us. I'm fine. I slipped in something, Jeff said, brushing himself off. But there's no chance we're getting back up that way. Go look for a ladder or something while we look for that little shit ball hiding here. I could see Connor nod and dart away from the door as me and Jeff explored the room. I found the small beaded chain from an overhead light hanging from the ceiling and pulled it, illuminating the room in a warm fluorescent glow. Unfortunately, I could now also see that the room we were in was covered with thick, wet-looking black mold all over the walls and ceiling. "That's the shit I slipped in. It's sticking like glue," Connor said, scraping his boot across the concrete floor. Behind me was the mall's system for ventilation, unlabeled boxes of odds and ends, a few fake Christmas trees, and a trap door that led somewhere deeper than we already were. "Well, he's not in here. Let's check that out," Jeff said, pointing at the trap door. "We don't know if he's down there. We should wait for Connor." "Well, he's certainly not in this room, but he came this way." Jeff gestured at a piece of ventilation that had been kicked open. Jeff opened the heavy-looking door, and I was starting to feel claustrophobic just watching him descend the ladder. "I really don't know about this, Jeff," I started to say. "Ooh, spooky hole in the ground. I'm shaking like Michael J. Fox." "Come on, coward. Get your ass down here," Jeff snapped at me. I followed Jeff down the ladder into some cement tunnel that seemed to stretch endlessly. I cautiously walked behind Jeff, being careful not to touch mold-covered walls. Eventually, the tunnel split into 3 different directions, then 3 more different directions. "What is this?" I asked. City's old people used to use these underground tunnels to connect businesses together. "Made it easy for city repairmen to get from place to place faster, or some shit," Jeff replied. That's when I noticed the mold Jeff had slipped in had made its way from his boot all the way up his leg. "Jeff, your leg," I started to say, but the words caught in my throat. Jeff tried brushing it off with his hands, but it clung to them and began rapidly spreading up his massive arms onto his face. Jeff couldn't even finish his sentence before his mouth began filling up with that black slime. He made some awful gurgling noises, and I saw the black shit streaming out of his tear ducts as he clawed at his face before collapsing onto the ground. "Jeff. Jeff." I yelled. I wanted to shake him, but I didn't want that shit getting on me too. Then I heard a voice from behind me. "I see it got your friend." I just about jumped out of my skin. I shined my flashlight up to see the homeless man from the bathroom walking toward me. "I warned you about the sinister things," he screamed, running up to Jeff and blocking my view of him. "What is this shit? It's from darkness. It's from space. It's from the 6th dimension." The man began rambling nonsense off at a machine gun's pace. I was so distracted I didn't even notice Jeff slowly getting to his feet until his huge hands clamped over the hobo's mouth. He slid his hands into the tramp's mouth, one on the bottom jaw and the other on the top, and slowly began pulling them apart. I watched the man's flesh tearing away and heard a snap as his jaw broke. Then Jeff completely ripped the top portion of the man's head off, leaving only the bottom jaw attached to his neck. Jeff's eyes were completely black, and the mold was flowing out of his mouth and nose like a faucet. Then he slowly began to grin at me. I screamed and ran, trying desperately to retrace my steps, all while Jeff thundered after me. Eventually, I found the ladder and climbed it back into the basement. I struggled to close the heavy steel door, but I got a surge of adrenaline as I heard footsteps climbing the metal rings of the ladder and slammed it shut behind me. I stacked some heavy boxes on top of the door, but I can still hear Jeff punching at it. I don't know when, but at some point, I got some of that mold on myself too. If I don't move, it seems to slow down the spread of it, but it's still slowly making its way up my body. I hope Connor gets back soon. I've been yelling, but nobody's even come to check. If he takes too long, I'm afraid of what might happen to him. I'm afraid of what I might do to him.